We're back with another episode of Fara Talks, brought to you by Pepsi Max. I'm here with Ryhanna. We're going to get into the Champions League stuff from the last 2 days, but where should we start, Ryhanna?
Well, let's have a little look, just overview of all the games. So first up, Arsenal versus OH Leuven. Arsenal won 3-1, 7-1 on aggregate. Juventus 0, Wolfsburg 2. So Wolfsburg you did call it. I think I was kind of hoping for Juventus. I don't know. Underdog story. I would love that.
Was there. Did you see?
No,
he was at the game. I saw. Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah. If the players didn't see that in the stand, I don't know what they were doing, because that would have just motivated me in itself as a Juve player. But yeah, he was in the stand.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that, no. Real Madrid 2, Paris FC 0. So Real Madrid go through 5-2 on aggregate. And then Manchester United to Atletico Madrid 0. So United go through 5-0 on aggregate. The new fixtures are Arsenal versus Chelsea.
Yeah, we're going to get into that one.
I think we're going to talk about for the next 40 minutes. Manchester United versus Bayern Munich. Real Madrid versus Barcelona. Another El Clasico, big rivalry there. And then Wolfsburg versus Lyon. Let's start with Arsenal, shall we? Mm-hmm. Shock horror.
Yeah.
Farah, have you recovered?
Mate.
Can you feel your limbs, your fingers and your toes?
I've just been literally glued to the radiator outside. So yeah, not really. Mate, that weather was ridiculous.
I was watching you on the TV and I just wanted to wrap you up in 50,000 electric blankets.
You know what? I'm trying to explain this to people and you might not even understand it. I'm going to try and explain it. Go on. The rain, it's not ice. So it's not, it's not ice, but it feels icy. It's that cold. It feels like ice.
Like almost hailstoney. But
it's not hailstone. So it's rain, but it's cold as hailstones and as cold as ice, but not ice. Right. That's how cold it is. It's like cold air, water, and you just can't, get warm. And the wind, I don't know if you saw, but the wind was just blowing in the same direction. It's like...
I have to say, I didn't see much.
Because
it was pouring from the heavens. There was nothing. I gave up about probably 45 minutes in because I was just like, I
wish I was allowed to give up and go home and get warm, but lucky you.
Have you ever had an experience like that? Because watching, you guys were talking about their professionalism, going out and playing in a condition like that. Have you had an experience as a player?
Do you know what? I thought this might come up, and literally I was thinking about the worst weather I've played in. So I was trying to and I knew it was a She Believes Cup, so we're in America, and I was trying to think back to what year, and I've gone through the years. I'm like, was it 2016, 17, 18? I've finished by 19. 2017 She Believes Cup, and actually when I was googling it and looking, it said it's known for the coldest game in history. In history. So you got to Google it. 2017 She Believes Cup in New Jersey, ice cold. It was minus. It said it was -9, but I think it was -15. Okay, it was cold. So
the coldest game in history is a crazy title to take.
-9. It's trying to say. I'm suggesting it was -15, even more. Yeah, cold.
I think you have a career in
gloves weren't making nothing made you feel better. Couldn't feel my toes. I mean, that was my excuse for some bad passes.
Post match, well, I couldn't feel my feet. I think you make a really good weather woman. Do you not think? I think so.
But I like that little click button.
So over here, no, I think you cook. Back to the game. We digress. Russo has come back into the starting 11 as Olivia Smith was suspended, potentially, maybe tactically. Would we say?
I think the Olivia Smith being... I think Blackstenius, I think she was also injured.
Yeah, I think she got niggle,
and, no Olivia Smith, so put Russo back in what I would suggest is her much preferred position as a number 9.
I did laugh when you were saying it to her.
Look, she can play both roles. We spoke about it, didn't we? And we spoke about how well Olivia Smith's done in that 9 when she's came in, but... you look at her goals in the game, they are typical number 9 goals. Yeah. Back to goal, using the defender, using your body, rolling, and then getting a shot away. And that's what she does so well in the 9. As I said to her, she will play anywhere. And I think any player would say that. Yeah. But I think if you want to get the very best out of her, I think the number 9 is best suited to her. She needs to play with a 10 because she can do the both. Yeah. She likes to go beyond, but she also likes to drop in.
Yeah,
and it's like when she drops in, she needs a 10 that's going to go. And that's when I think Marnham does really well when she plays with Russo. But yeah, I mean, she could play either of them. For me, much prefer in the 9. I think she's stronger in the 9. But there's competition there. And Arsenal have so many options in attack.
Yeah.
I mean...
Feeling good going into the quarterfinal.
I know you are, and I don't want to talk about it.
It's so funny. That's next up.
Oh, is it?
Arsenal versus Chelsea. How are you
excited? You know what the funny thing? You're getting excited because you think that you're going to win because you've got good momentum, you've got good results, and you think that it's going to be me sat here in an Arsenal shirt. But one thing I've got to say is that, these derbies, it doesn't matter about form. When Arsenal and Chelsea play, I think, as much as like I'm edging towards Arsenal just because of the momentum they have and how well they're playing. Yeah. But when these two games play, it doesn't matter how well they're doing in the league. I always think they're so competitive and you can't really call it. So I'm trying to go down that route of, you know, it's going to be a hard one to call. Pride of London.
For our viewers at home who don't have any visual, I'm smiling ear to ear right now that Fara just said she thinks Arsenal are going to do it. Yeah, to be fair, I do think that's what makes this such a good fixture, because you don't know. If it were to be played, for example, tomorrow, I think what's tough about this fixture, and this is something that you've taken, you know, your jokes here and there at Arsenal, fired some shots about them being a cup club.
Yeah, that's probably why they've got the upper hand. That's why I'm giving them edging it
but
to them.
It's 2 legs.
Yep.
I think that's, for me, from an Arsenal perspective, part of the worry. I think, you know, the first game's at the Emirates. I imagine it's going to be really, really strong attendance. Like, the crowd's going to be amazing. I think we'll start really well. But to carry it on through both legs, I think that's where if it was 1 leg, I'd put it down to Arsenal 100%. But for me, it's the fact it's over 2 legs.
Look, as I say, if they play tomorrow, I think that the form that Arsenal are in, you would suggest that they would beat Chelsea, because Chelsea at the minute look really fragile, in my opinion. Lots of, you know, talk about the club, what direction it's going in. Obviously, we spoke last week about Paul. Is it Paul Green? Is it? Yeah. I was thinking, am I going wrong? Is it Paul Blue? No, it's Paul Green. It is. I'm just. But they spoke about
Chelsea for
Paul Green. Obviously, his departure. I spoke about, you know, senior players behind the scenes, you know, leaking a little bit and not being happy. So I think all of that, what's going on, don't help the on-pitch stuff. Yeah. In their game, obviously, we saw the result. They beat Liverpool 2-0, but it wasn't a real convincing performance. In that game, they beat Tottenham the week before, again 2-0, but again, not a convincing performance. Whereas Arsenal have been winning convincingly with their performances. Yeah. And that's just my worry. But as I said, if it was 2 other teams, I would go with the team that has better momentum and are performing better. But because it is a London derby and I guess history between these teams would suggest that form goes out the window when they come up against each other. 100%. And that's what I think will be the same in this quarterfinal. And I think maybe for Chelsea, they're probably thinking they know they can beat Arsenal, you know, on their day. That, you know, if they beat Arsenal, there's a possibility they're going to make it the final. Because I think whoever wins this makes the final.
We mentioned last week about potentially doing a combined 11.
Oh, yeah, that would be fun.
Should we have a little...
See, but look, we're going to do this combined 11 based on current form, aren't we?
Yeah, or we can do it either on current form, or, to be fair, the fixtures aren't for another, month? So we could do it for if we were planning for the fixtures. Okay. Or we can do it for...
On their day, if they're on it, who we'd have in? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, okay, that would change my mind then.
Okay, so goalkeeper, I feel Hannah Hampton.
Okay, okay. Oh, yeah, Hannah Hampton.
No?
Yeah, no, I'm going with Hannah. Are we going, what formation are we going?
I was about to say, are we doing Sonia's 3...
Let's just do a 4-3-3.
Okay. Right back.
Ooh, this is difficult. Because naturally I would slide and go with Lucy Bronze.
Yeah.
But Emily Farks, man. Like...
Yeah, it's actually quite tough at right back, I feel. But yeah,
I think I'd
go for Lucy Bronze.
I'd go to Lucy Bronze, yeah. And Champions League experience in general.
Yep. 2 centre-backs.
Like between Bjorn, Germa... Yeah. And Leah Williamson are probably the 3 that I'd go with.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe do a back 5 and put them 3 in it. Because, like, Bjorn, I just think she just goes under the radar a little bit. And obviously, she's injured. You know what? I'm going to go Leah Williamson because her and Germa are both ball-playing centre-halves.
Yeah, and then Nat.
And then I'd have Bjorn.
Yeah.
Nat Bjorn, left side centre-half.
Okay, agree. Left back.
Kate. Yeah, Kate McKay for me, yeah.
Good. Nice, okay.
She's going to thank me later for that one.
Okay. 3 in the midfield.
This is difficult.
This is horrible because you've got Cuthbert, Walsh, like Little, Caldente are my 4 in there. Maybe shouts for more, but also it depends. Where are we going to put LJ? Would we put her in as a midfield to sit more centrally, just behind? Do we put her on the right? Where do we? I've got a headache.
I'm going. You don't have to agree. We can fight out. But I'm going to go Cuthbert.
Yep.
Little, Caldente. Because I think if Cuthbert and Little in there, we can have Caldente higher, and I think that is a more natural position for her.
Yeah, I agree.
I think if we go with like whether you go LJ or Mornham, that means that Caldente will be the deeper of the 2, and actually she's more effective higher up. So if you've got Kim Little and Cuthbert sitting behind Caldente, that's a naughty midfield.
That is disgusting.
But you can argue with me. I don't know. I'm waiting.
The thing is,
what's your comeback?
Any midfield, it has to. Yeah, I was sold on like Cuthbert Little, absolutely.
I just love Cuthbert.
I think she's ridiculously underrated.
Yeah, absolutely. Kim Little, 400 appearances. Crazy.
Silly.
And then Caldenti, probably one of the, you could argue, probably the best player in the world at the minute. So, yeah, I don't think I don't know. If you want to come back and argue and put someone in and
yeah, I think I agree with that. I don't think you can't argue that, because there's any three in that midfield is going to be stupid. It's got the options. And then front three.
Yeah, this is where it gets difficult.
I feel like we've got to have Russo as the 9.
Russo's got, I love Sam Kerr though. I'm going to go Russo.
Of the left, in my head, that's between Ford and Thompson.
Yeah.
Ford?
And I like both of them.
Yeah, same.
The difficulty is that you want LJ in the team.
Yeah.
So naturally I would have gone Russo, Thompson and Ford, Caitlin Ford.
Yeah.
But you can't not have a player like LJ in your starting 11. Now, as much as I like her central, I think in games you probably have to play off the right and give her that freedom to come more centrally. So LJ has to be in there. Now it's just between...
LJ on the right?
Yeah, because she has to be in there.
And then...
But I love both. I love Caitlin Ford. Again, another player that I think is really underrated. But Thompson, mate, this girl, I don't know where she gets her engine from.
Oh, no.
Honestly, I'm like, she runs for everyone.
She's brilliant.
Caitlin does as well, but I just, I don't know.
I'd
rather go with Thompson.
Okay.
I think that's quite balanced. Go Thompson. So how many Chelsea players would that be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 to 5. That's about right. Yeah. So we're going to go Thompson.
Okay.
Because there has to be one more Chelsea player than Arsenal.
Boring. That's going to be good.
We'll go with that. It's going to be a good game.
Do you own an Arsenal shirt?
Only one that I played in. Yeah, I've got Vivs actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah. Old one. Checking. Yeah.
That'll do. Just checking.
Right.
Just making sure.
Have you got a Chelsea shirt? You probably have.
I don't.
Yeah, well, you better find one. I have to go to the shop.
I don't think
the mega store before we get in.
Actually, no, I've won.
So when you go Stamford Bridge for the second leg and you're on your way out when you've lost, just make sure you pass through the shop before you come into the studio the next day.
Right, so the final 11 that we've decided on, I think, we've got Hannah Hampton, Lucy Bronze, Natalie Bjorn, Leah Williamson, Katie McCabe, Kim Little, Erin Cuthbert, Mariana Caldente. That midfield's ridiculous.
That's crazy, isn't it? It's like the team sounds good. I mean, I wouldn't mind managing that.
I think we should feel that. Alyssa Thompson, Alessia Russo and Lauren James.
Sounds decent.
Manchester United, it's the first time in the club's history that they've reached the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Again, a big result against Atletico Madrid, 5-0 on aggregate. You were there. I was there.
You was there.
Reflection on the game. What did you take away from that? I feel like for me, going into the game and actually how they started, I thought Atletico actually looked pretty all right. They were making the chances. There was one player, Alexia Fernandez, down the right flank. I thought she was absolutely superb. But then it was just... They were doing all of these like really lovely little balls, and they were the build-up play was there, and just in the final third, nothing was happening. And then the moment United scored, it just went. In
my opinion, they had to come out fast. They had to try and create something and put United on the back foot, and they did that. But they only tested really Tullis Joyce once. I think I remember one. I think it was Jensen, and then Tullis Joyce down to the left-hand side. So tested once in that opening, and then. Once Man United got that goal, it was just total control. So I think United would have known they would have had to have soaked up a little bit of early pressure, and if they got through that part of the game, then it would have been a similar result to what they got in the first leg. So I thought, real professional performance from Man United, dominant. Yeah, we spoke, didn't we, last week about the togetherness, and I think that plays a massive part in if they are to progress and out of the quarterfinals against Bayern Munich. But you were there, right? You were in the stand. I was so impressed with the fans.
I know.
Over 4,000 on like a wet Thursday evening, freezing as well.
Lee Sports Village in the sticks.
What did you make of the you was amongst them, I'm guessing. What did you make of them?
No, it was really good. A lot of young kids who were really, especially young boys, and I think we always talk about women's football and like inspiring young girls, but I do think it always hits a different nerve when it's like little boys who are going out and supporting the women's team, and they were giving it large. Like every decision the ref made was somehow wrong, and they were just going for it. And I was really impressed. I think as well. Like you said, it's freezing cold on a school night. For the turnout that they had and the atmosphere was so good. And I think that probably played a part in what we saw from United.
I feel like they're building something there. I mean,
they really are.
Obviously, at the end of the game, we spoke to Jess and Marc. But even speaking to Marc, and he keeps highlighting the fact that they're such a together team. And that's kind of his core kind of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like philosophy.
Philosophy that he wants to bring in. And he was talking about like if you don't fit that, then you're probably not going to be in my team. So he said even players that come in, he was like, look, it doesn't matter how good you are. If you're not a good person, if you're not prepared to work hard, and if you're not prepared to do this, then you'll eventually find your way out of the squad. So their recruitment has been good. I think the fact that they were backed in January has really helped them. I think obviously in the summer they got new backroom staff, assistant coach, goalkeeping coach. And I think it's all coming together. I think for the stick that Marc's had over the years, for Man United to be in a position they are, I think it's credit to him, he does deserve that credit because, as you say, bringing players in, even we've got to touch on Jess Park because I thought, again, another fantastic goal. But like what he does with players, like you look at what I think so good about him is that it's not easy to manage the top players. It's easier because they have that natural ability. Yeah. So you look at the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City, they can bring in all the best players, and then it's about managing the group and the personalities. But I think with Marc, he's got to manage that, but also try and get the maximum amount of players that are probably not your elite players. And I think the fact that he can get, maximum performances out of players that, probably won't get in those top 3 teams is credit to him and what he does behind the scenes.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting because we spoke about it again last week, like you said, about the togetherness of the team. And there's been a lot of not very positive headlines about United over the past few seasons. I think it's amazing that they've come to this point now. And I want to talk about Jess Park. You mentioned it there. She's come over across all competitions, 28 games, 9 goals, 4 assists. And she actually praised Marc Skinner for being pivotal in her development. And I wanted to talk about that more because going back in time to when the Clinton Park swap, you could say, was happening, what was your initial reactions on what you thought that would do for Jess Park? Because I think there was loads of contradicting opinions online. What did you actually think of what Marc Skinner could do for her as a player? And does it align with what we've seen?
Yeah, you know what? I probably didn't think about the individual and what a manager can do for a player. I probably thought you're going from a Manchester City team that was that close to winning a title, and now you're going to go to a Man United team that's probably going to finish outside the top 3. Yeah. And then I looked at it again and I thought, actually, you've got Champions League football. Manchester City don't. So although Manchester City might have a good WSL season, actually the experience of Champions League, where I would have suggested just going to Man United would get regular playing time, is only going to better her. And then knowing Marc and knowing what he's done, I mean, he's been in the women's game for a long time, and I think people forget, his passion for women's football. He was developing and bringing players through from a very young age, and so he's always been able to develop players and progress what they already have and make them better. So I always knew in terms of tactically he would be able to enhance Jess's knowledge of the game and understanding. And it was just about how she fits in with the team. And I mean, he's done a fantastic job. I think he recognises that she has the ability to play as a number 10 and maybe physicality lacks a little bit. So how can we best suit her in a position where we can get the best of both? And it's, it's smart. I play her out on the right, and in possession, she can float and find areas to get on the ball and be effective. And I think giving her that freedom and understanding, because when she first got that role, it was, her timing as when to come into pockets probably wasn't there. Although she was being effective, she probably had to learn, actually, I can't come in at this point. I need to stay wider and keep the width. And I think she's really learned the role. But I think, with the guidance of Marc, has enhanced her knowledge and understanding of that role and the game in general.
Looking at her game, what is it that you think makes her stand out?
She's just exciting, isn't she? I think when you look at her, you look at those players that are, like myself, come off the estate, out of the cage, and just the flexibility, likes to get on the ball, isn't scared to try things and take people. I mean, her feet are super fast. She's got such quick feet, and that low sense of gravity when she's moving with the ball. But then she's added goals to that from outside the box and worldies, by the way. I mean, she did it at the weekend. Again, in that comeback against London City, and you're thinking, oh, what a goal. And then you go and do it again, a few days later, just casually putting in the top bins.
It was just like watching it in slow-mo going in. I was like, that is...
I used to love them as a kid. You used to practice them. Like when you hit them, you just know they're just rising like rocket. They're just going up. So, yeah, they were the best ones.
And I mean, looking ahead to next summer as well, big summer for England, World Cup. She's got to be in for some shouts, would you say, for actually starting?
It has to be. The thing is, you have to find roles for these talented players. The same with LJ. We had this discussion last week. Where's her best position? She played as a 9. Is that her best position? Probably not for me. Yeah. Do you play a central? You lose a little bit without the ball. Where can you put her in a position where you can get her best? And I think it's a similar position to what Jess is playing at United. Yeah. So, I mean, for me, Jess goes to the World Cup next year in Brazil. I mean, you can't take a player that, the Brazilians would love to watch and leave her at home. She'd look like one of their own. She'd fit in a Brazilian team, the skill that she has. So, yeah, I mean, she's certainly on the right path if she can stay injury-free and continue her form. there's no question she'll be in that squad next year and probably playing a bigger part than she has in recent years.
Yeah, absolutely. And next up for United is Bayern, potentially for the home leg to be played at Old Trafford. We know they're playing their away leg at the Allianz. That was in English. Allianz, there we go.
Are they playing it there? Oh, mate, imagine that. Two legs over. I was
Talk
there.
on the street, that is what.
Mate, if that don't motivate you, I don't know what does. Both brilliant. Of them stadiums. Yeah, that mad. When you think of football, in the history of football, Old Trafford and the Allianz. I was at the Allianz for the Arsenal game.
Yeah.
Mate, their crowd. You weren't there for that, was you? Mate, you need to go there. Honestly, like, I feel like there's a difference. Over the years, obviously, in the men's game, fan base have built, like, songs and whatever. You really hear them. Women are starting to get there, but they're not quite there. But these Bayern fans support the women in the same way they support the men. And, the sound in the stadium, it's absolutely bouncing. So I can imagine that. And that was with 20,000. I can imagine a quarterfinal with a name like Man United coming to the Allianz will be proper massive. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that leg.
United are unbeaten since December 10th. They've played 12 games since then. They've won the last 8 consecutively. And they're second in the WSL. I feel like they're quietly going about some serious business. Do you think that, generally speaking, they're being overlooked as a threat in both the league and then Champions League?
Yeah, they are, because obviously we look at the top 3. We always kind of go Chelsea, City and Arsenal.
Yeah, and then you go, and the top 4 if we're talking United.
Then we'll bring them into the top 4. But they are, I think, they have been over the last few years really consistent in what they do. I think they've always lacked a little bit of that depth and quality. But I think they've certainly added that. I think they're a much stronger outlook now than they've ever been. I think the players that they now have are players that buy into what Marc wants to do with the club. And I think that's always, sometimes stronger than, clubs that just buy all the best players in and try and fit them in. So they definitely are being overlooked. But I think they'll like being in that position because we know what pressure can do to teams and players. Yeah. And if there was pressure put on them, would the players be able to respond and perform in the same way? I guess we don't know because there isn't that pressure. So I think, Marc and his team, they will be happy that they're not being spoken about, happy that there's less pressure on them. Because if they beat Bayern, they're overachieving in everybody's opinion. But maybe in-house, they're not overachieving. That's something that they probably looked at and go, actually, a semi-final is realistic for us. So, yeah, I think they'll be happy that there is no noise because we can see, and we've seen with the Arsenal men's team, that what pressure does. But I'll keep that quiet, Ryhanna, because I don't want to upset you. What happens when pressure gets too much? It just bursts, doesn't it? It's
pressure creates diamonds.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they haven't found one at Arsenal yet, but.
So thanks for tuning in to Fara Talks. Make sure it's fine.
No, I'm joking, but I think they'd much prefer to. Yeah, no, I'm not. I think they'd much prefer to not have pressure on them.
So not only do we have a London derby in the quarterfinals, we have the El Clasico between Barcelona and Real Madrid. They've played each other 3 times this season already domestically. Barca have won quite drastically in every single fixture, one being in the Copa del Rey final. Yeah. Barca have won 4-0, 2-0, and then 4-0 again in the final. How do you see this fixture playing out, and do you think it's going to be what we've seen already?
Similar to that.
Really? Big scoreline?
I think for people that don't know women's football and would look at the 4th quarterfinal fixtures, they'd be drawn to that El Clasico. Who wouldn't? I mean, football, I'm saying years ago because probably not as much now, but football would stand still for an El Clasico in a men's game. Yeah. And pretty similar, I guess, if you're somebody new, would probably do the same for that. But, I mean, over the 2 legs, even with Paris FC, I thought, they weren't convincing for me, Real Madrid. We know when Barca are at their best, I think, it will be a pretty comfortable game over the 2 legs. So, I would suggest that will be the same. I mean, I'm trying to think of ways, even just trying to look at the games that I saw over the 2 legs with Paris, and I'm like, where do their strengths lie? I think Caicedo needs to be at her very best. I think Caroline Weir needs to be at her very best. But I think defensively for Real Madrid, they're not great. And we know that Barcelona's strengths lie within their front line. So, when you've got a weak back line that Real Madrid, in my opinion, have, I think it's curtains for Real Madrid. Barca win both of those games. Yeah, whether they're by big margins or not, they don't. Just my opinion of it, I just don't think Real Madrid are good enough to beat Barcelona this year. No. Did you see anything over the 2 games from Real Madrid that will convince you that they're going to get anything out of the game?
No. I feel like on paper they should be performing better. But again, it's like their front 4, if we're including Caroline Weir in that, it should be brilliant. Yeah. But their defence isn't there. Tactically, though. I don't think they're, it's very...
Their defence is weak, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's the problem is like Caroline Weir, Caicedo, and they can do so much.
Yeah. When
you're leaking goals, like you're not doing anything. I think that's what they're going to really struggle with. I think they're going to be punished instantly by Barcelona.
Yeah.
I think they'll score.
I can't even see it.
Oh, dead silence.
I
think they'll score. I think Caroline Weir will do.
We'll see.
Outside the box.
I don't see it. But we will see.
Which
tie are you most looking forward to?
To be fair, I don't know actually. I mean, obviously Arsenal-Chelsea I think is going to be a brilliant one, but I think United-Bayern's going to be really good.
That's the one I'm looking forward to.
I think that's going to be, because that could genuinely go either way.
Either way, yeah.
And I think it'd be massive for United to do it. I wouldn't write them off either.
See, they're the only fixtures that can go either way. Arsenal-Chelsea either way, and I think Bayern against United either way. As for Lyon-Wolfsburg, I think
Lyon have to.
Lyon, yeah. If they don't turn up though, Wolfsburg can cause them problems. They have to turn up and be at their best, and then they'll dominate that game. And as I said, Barcelona I think dominate Real Madrid. So we'll see. We'll see who's wearing a shirt in a month's time.
Oh, you.
Okay.
Definitely you.
I told you might be going up Megastore outside Stamford Bridge on your way home. We'll see.
One of us is going to get cancelled for wearing the opposition shirt. Yeah. Although you've played for Arsenal, so it's like...
Don't worry, there'll be a top underneath it. That's definitely,
Under
definitely not a badge on skin. Definitely none of that. I didn't say I'd have it on my skin, but yeah.
When you always played for Arsenal...
there's definitely always a top underneath.
So our sponsors at Pepsi Max have asked us to do a team of the round after each round. We've had fun doing this, but we always do the debates behind the camera in the WhatsApp group. So we've decided we're bringing it to the cameras today. Let's go through the team of the week first, team of the round, and then we're going to dump in. So in goal, we have Johannes from Wolfsburg, Ava Navarro, Real Madrid, left back, Millie Turner, May Letitia, United centre back pairing, Kate McCabe on the left, Lisa Nolson from United, Jess Park, Jensen, Minga, Russo and Enderman.
So who are you arguing with me over? You know what, can I just say something? You see this team?
Yeah.
See this team right here?
Yeah.
This 11 that I put into the group chat straight after the Man United game when I was on the way home. You do know that.
Yeah.
Also, I woke up this morning and saw that 4 of them were in the player of the round. Your team coming this morning. So I don't know what you've been doing online. But so if you want to fight me,
hold on.
I'll listen.
No, because I'm gonna frame this in a different light.
Let's see.
I call it. I looked at your team and I went, wow, Fara knows ball. I can't argue with Fara.
You had one or two though.
I had a few players that I was like, do you know what? Were standout, like for me, I thought were good, but wouldn't really rival a lot of the players that's in your 11.
Go on, who were they?
Alexia Fernandez. I mentioned her at the top of the show. I thought she was so good down that right-hand side for Atletico. She was the catalyst for a lot of the attacks that we saw from them, especially in the first half.
And you know, when you put that one in there, I was thinking, and because you said right back, but Navarro for Real Madrid was just like their best player. So I was thinking, we can't take Navarro out. Okay. And she was one of the 4 that got into like team of the round. Just saying. So she's
almost like you're good at your job.
But I was going to compromise and be like, Katie McCabe, I was looking for a left side and I didn't think there was anyone in the round that was better than her. But I wouldn't mind putting Fernandez on the left-hand side. Okay. And on this occasion, we could take Katie McCabe up. Yeah.
Okay.
Compromising.
We'll go for that. Midfield. I think, to be fair, I actually just flat out agree with this midfield. But Mariana Caldente, it's so hard because she just consistently is one of the best players. And I think she's been robbed.
Do you? But who would you put in?
That's the hard part. I thought Nelson's really. I don't mind
doing some negotiating with you. But
okay, thank you.
But you just need to. You need
maybe Jensen.
She was good for Atletico.
She was, but if you're
she was a real fan. You know what? To the point that I was like, a WSL team should take her.
Agree. If we want to give Jensen her flowers in terms of she's not going to be in the next round, and we can put Mariana Caldente in the next round.
That's if she plays well.
So when she plays well, we're going to put her in the next round. Cool.
Okay, we're already thinking ahead.
Yeah.
There's 2 Arsenal. We just took an Arsenal player out there, didn't? There's no look. Yeah, I'm not sure I can find room for Caldente in there. Maybe we'll do a. Let's do a.
Yeah, please.
But this is my left hand. I don't even know if I can move it properly. Can I? Let's see. What do you do? 1, 2, 3, show. Like one rock, paper, scissors, and then show.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were saying you go 1, 2, 3, show. I was about to...
Like rock, paper, scissors, show.
Perfect, okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Shit.
Mariana Caldente is in the...
What?
No, it wasn't best of 3 when you thought you were going to win first time.
Okay, so who are you taking out? Jensen. Okay, cool.
Mariana Caldente has found her way into the 11. And then front 2, can't really argue.
Oh, you're not arguing with them?
Russo, Enderman.
Okay, cool.
Right.
So no argument. Done?
No.
Oh, that was easy.
Yeah.
Right, that was a good show, Rihanna. And we're just getting warmed up. These last couple of shows, it's just warming up for the big game in the quarterfinal. Arsenal-Chelsea is going to be the first leg. And we'll be back in, a month's time now?
Yep.
For those episodes. So yeah, catch us in a month's time where we round up the first leg of the quarterfinal. We'll see you then.